we're talking about today um, leaked video games and video game footage and whatnot. Because I don't know if you've heard about this Cyberpunk, but apparently No Man's Sky a few days ago, the actual game was leaked. Some people sold it for thousands of dollars on the internet, and so people have actually,
Thousand.
yeah, people have actually posted gameplay footage of it on the internet. It's been taken down from websites like YouTube and whatnot, and so some people have actually uploaded it onto Pornhub and whatnot so that they won't find it. But
uh,
this got me thinking of like, you know, um, why would people pay so much for a game that's like a week away to be released? Or to even just get a sneak peek of the game before anyone else.
Yeah.
And like, has this happened with other games? And like, what drives people so much, other than the obvious fact of like saying like, oh, I'm so rich or I'm so special that
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got to see this before anyone else. When it's
Yeah.
literally just a week away.
Yes. And one of the problems is that, like 2 or 3 months ago, the developer from No Man's Sky was actually was having some death threats on the internet, and I really am not surprised of people being so desperate of getting footages or uh, exclusive content beforehand, and it all depends on the gamer, on the people who actually are very desperate to watch or have something in their hands. But yeah, this with No Man's Sky, it's something that it's not surprising. But yeah, for other games, uh, people do not like spoilers. But just to prevent spoilers, they also shut it down just like they did. But no one goes to Pornhub unless to for something else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Pornhub got millions of hits that they
Oh
shut
yeah.
down and for other reasons. Um, but yeah, I've seen this happen a few times with some other games. Like, I remember like, people like post online, oh, leaked Smash Brother characters or whatever.
Oh
Like they
yeah,
hack into the
definitely.
code and whatnot and
Yeah,
start saying,
that completely blew my mind when Ryu, that like my world was kind of shattered in the world of internet leaks after that. Like Ryu from Street Fighter wasn't even officially announced, and there was a hacker who had him playable on his stage a day before they officially announced it, and that's what completely blew my mind then.
yeah, there's already so many people racing to try them out first, have the very first footage of it on
Yes.
on Twitch or YouTube, and that causes a lot of problems for a lot of people already with servers crashing and not being able to get what you paid for. Um, but then you have
Yeah.
this person just hacking it, and it's kind of a disappointment for other people. Other people get really excited about it. Um, but sometimes I'm just like, when it's like a day away, I'm like, why? You know?
Um,
Yeah.
whenever you guys are ready for it, I did read the perspective of the man who paid it was 2 grand for this first. And I've seen another instance on the internet where a guy, it was in the neighborhood of 1200 or 1300, someone else who had a copy of it. I was able to read the perspective of the guy who paid 2 grand for it. I guess I could just talk
Yeah,
about
just
it
say
now.
it now.
Yeah, so just to summarize, because I was looking into this from Reddit, and the guy posted there, and people are wondering why the heck, like you're completely insane for paying that much money. And from his perspective,
Yeah.
insane can mean different things for different people depending on your walk of life. He gave the impression that he was really well off and had plenty of indispensable income. It's not the first time he had done something like that, he had this wonderful thrill of completely being alone. There's so much game coverage and walkthroughs that these days you could go look for a walkthrough for any game and be able to figure it out. There's something exciting to him, even at that high price, to have the excitement of being completely alone in a game again. And that's relatable from when I was a kid and didn't have the internet to figure things out. But to have that ability where, like, you could be desperately lost and have no idea what does what, which, you know, there's a whole periodic table system of things that people will be discovering in No Man's Sky. It's like how Minecraft, how you had to use trial and error to figure everything out. It's basically that again. Anyhow, that was really exciting to him, and since he was well off, he thought it was well worth the price of $2,000 to be able to have that. And I'm not sure if he was thinking about leaking footage and then decided not to, but obviously other copies have gotten out there, and there is footage, and I'm not willing to go to certain websites to go look for it.
If you know what I mean.
I don't know. My dedication might be a little bit stronger than yours. I haven't looked it up. And I won't.
Let's also put into perspective again that this particular game has been so overhyped that, you know, there's a good portion of people on the internet that have finally come that are on this side of the fence is like, no way, this has been hyped up to an impossible degree that there's no way it's going to live up to people's expectations. This is an indie game that somehow got AAA game coverage and a AAA game price tag of $60, and people are expecting to have their, you know, it's their wildest dreams come true, the video game. And that's how it is for some people. That's why there was somebody desperate enough to attack, I want to say his name was Jason Schreier, an article writer, editor type guy over at Kotaku, who first had reports of the game getting delayed, and enough people riled up that someone sent him a death threat.
Why did they send him a death threat for just reporting?
Because they blamed, like, that he was slandering. That there's no possible way this wasn't heard anywhere else. There's no freaking way you have the proof that my precious game is going to be delayed any further. I can't wait for the 21st. You're absolutely mad. I hate your guts. And there was somebody mad enough that actually that got him a death threat. And it wasn't, I don't even think it was multiple days later that the Sony blog straight up confirmed that yes, it was delayed and that his reporting was accurate.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's exploding through the roof, and so you have crazies in there. I would classify a guy paying $2,000 for something a week and a half early a bit crazy. But I can also see his perspective. You know, if he's got an indispensable income, and I can relate to what he's going after.
I can relate and understand, but I do not agree with it. Like, no matter.
Yeah.
Oh, entirely.
Like, even with that feeling that you get of, like, you know, you're alone. I'm like, just don't look at the internet.
Yeah,
for a
just
while.
don't do that.
But anyway, we've been talking about No Man's Sky for a while. I mean, like, it is the big one that has, you know, that's recently.
That's the
leaked.
recent news, and that's why we're talking about it. And other than a review, I'd be curious to see if you guys had any other examples that you could remember, because I know it's happened, plenty. I'm kind of struggling to come up with other examples where it's happened.
I mean, each year there's leaked footage of, like, different stuff. I know, wasn't there leaked footage of Battlefront once? Not exactly sure what exactly was leaked.
Oh, Star Wars?
Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, there was pre-alpha footage of Battlefront 3.
Of Battlefront 3?
The Battlefront that never came out.
Alright. I thought it was for the new Battlefront.
Total disappointment.
Actually, there may have been leaked footage for that, but you saying that, I do actually remember that there was a barely functioning build of Battlefront 3 in the style that players had been used to be playing it in. It was broken, but it existed.
The one stupid leak that I see every year, and I don't even think it's noteworthy to mention as a leak or anything. Like, I don't know why people keep bandwagoning around these, but they're usually like Call of Duty leaks, and they're always like, oh, these are the guns that are gonna be in Call of Duty. Even one time, it was
Always.
the leak was the you know how Black Ops introduced the whole art thing.
Yes.
That you put
Yeah.
on your gun, and also
Yeah.
it could be right next to your username, which was then filled with just a ton and ton of dicks and tits and jizz and all.
Put it nicely,
Yeah.
as you have.
Yeah.
There's a theme in this episode already, isn't there?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, people leaked that, and I was like, that's not even noteworthy to mention in the game. The one leak that I was excited about was when people were talking about zombies being in Black Ops 3, which everyone was sort of looking for, because Black Ops 1 zombies was successful. On 2 it was somewhat okay. Like, no one liked it as much as the Black Ops 1 World at War specifically.
Yeah.
And then that was like a noteworthy leak. And then there's leaks for devices as well.
Oh yeah,
Like-
there's always something about the iPhone, isn't there?
Well, not only the iPhone. Remember, we even the NX and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's been tons of
Oh yeah.
leaks
Well-
and whatnot since then, and even
Not more than leaked. It's just like perspective about the console, because right now we've been seeing some leaks from the NX, and they just look weird, and they just look like the actual Wii. I'm like, this ain't real. Like, some leaked are, I can feel like, okay, this is real, but some leaked are like, yeah, this is totally fake ass.
there's
Like,
always,
you guys know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, there's always some truth in most leaks. But
Yeah.
the NX has definitely had tons of rumors, because we've not seen a console at all since they announced it.
Yeah.
The release date is March and the upcoming year, isn't it? And that's really soon.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
still haven't seen anything.
That's its code name, lest everyone forget.
Yeah,
That's the
NX.
code name of it. Like, the official name hasn't even come out.
Yeah, and so it's it's August when we're recording this, so it's 7 months away.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Approximately.
7 months away. That's almost half a year. Usually, when it comes to
Well, it's
consoles,
over half a year.
yeah, over half.
Yeah.
Usually, when it comes to consoles and stuff like that, they hype it up for a year or so. Sometimes a little bit less, but yeah, kind of when I remember that when the 3DS was announced, that was how long did they announce that before they actually released it? 2 years?
Oh, a very long time, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Very
hearing
long
about
time,
it, was it 3DS came out 2011, didn't it?
Oh,
Or 2012?
dude, I want to say it was 2011.
No, I think it was 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It was probably mid 2011, near 2012.
Yeah, because 2012 was the Wii U. I don't think they will be releasing two consoles at the same time.
Yeah, and there were rumors from ages ago that the new DS. They didn't even say it was a DS. There were rumors that the next Nintendo console was gonna have 3D graphics without the need of 3D glasses.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm sure the actual product, the 3D does work, but it's slight of a disappointment from what everyone was thinking. And I think that has partially to do with the
Yeah.
screen size as well.
I believe, I believe it could be a mixture of the screen size, and I also believe it's the tracking, because there was a very specific sweet spot. I want to say it was that. That's why they released new 3DS, because of the improved face tracking, and it just stick with it better.
The new 3DS does it much better.
I did love the 3D, but they don't encourage you to do that. Like you're able to. I just always have it turned off, and I believe a lot of people have it turned off.
I'd play with it most of the time if I could, but it drains your battery faster.
It does drain the battery. I gotta say, playing through Ocarina of Time again in 3D.
Ocarina of Time 3D is beautiful.
Yeah. And I bet Majora's was amazing too.
Majora's was really nice. All the like trippy psychedelic effects that happen, they just pop out right on the screen.
Another game like Pilot Wings Resort, which was a launch title for it, that was also
Star Fox
fantastic.
64 was really good too.
Do you have Star Fox 64 3D?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'd love to play that sometime.
Sure, I'll let you borrow it.
Nice.
But then there's some other games like you got Mega Man Legacy Collection, and there's no point in the 3D. Like it does have 3D on if you have the border pictures on, you know what I'm talking about. That goes 3D, but it's just a static image. There's no point for it being 3D. So yeah, like 3D is great on it, and I'm sure it looks much better on an extra large screen, because it'll feel more like it actually is coming out of the screen. But yeah, like I was saying, people were talking about that for like a couple of years before it came out, and a lot of us were sketchy about like how are they gonna pull off the 3D and whatnot, and
yeah, I remember that.
yeah, I know Zyberpunky and I actually didn't even like the original DS when it came out.
HAT.
Yeah, we were even dissing the rumors. I don't even know how we had heard about the rumors, but we were like
Game Informer.
Well, yeah, but we were like 2 screens. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And then we were like, Nintendo DS. What does that mean? Nintendo dumb stupid.
Exactly. Yeah, we used to make fun of that.
And then.
Oh man, yeah.
I remember I got a DS that Christmas, and then I was like, oh.
It's pretty cool.
And immediately my opinion changed of it.
So many trash talking about it.
Yeah, well, it helped the fact that it had it could play Game Boy Advance games as well. So I was like, oh yeah, I love this.
It did, yes. Yeah, but the only thing that didn't have was the link cable port. That was like
And the
They went
Wi-Fi.
and it went all the way to wireless. Yes.
The wireless.
Yeah, it was a piece of shit.
Well, because some Game Boy games did have wireless connectivity on it, but
they used the
it did.
on the front, right?
you had to buy an adapter.
Really?
Yeah, adapter. Yeah.
It was a wireless link cable adapters thing, and that would work.
Oh yeah, I saw that thing.
But some games didn't even work with it. Like the one game that I remember trying to play with Zyberpunky a lot was Mega Man Battle Network 6. That's the only battle network that has Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi, like wireless network connectivity enabled on it, and it tells you like, oh, are you using a standard link cable or are you using a wireless one? And so we choose wireless on a DS, and it wouldn't connect. So
yeah, it didn't work.
So it was great for single player games and playing on your own, but
it worked for Ryusei no Rockman, like Rockman Shooting Star.
Yeah, but that's on the DS. It's not a Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah, it's on the DS. Exactly. Yeah.
And then when you go forward, I remember trying to play one of the old Star Force games on a 3DS, and that it didn't have backwards compatibility was the wireless communications on that either. So, I mean, it would try to, but it couldn't. So yeah.
Indeed, yeah, I do remember those days. back in the Game Informer era when magazines used to be a thing. uh, yeah, it wasn't like leaked, but they actually show you some little here, little there, how it's going to be, but it was all written. It wasn't like this picture. It was uh,
Yeah.
it was more like um
It was a news
some
report,
reporter thing.
so like a news
Yeah,
article
it's
or magazine
like a
article.
journalist thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally journalist thing. It's just information from it. It wasn't just as spoiler as right now on the internet, which is kind of bothering. Um, but I've been thinking and I've been analyzing that people don't actually care if there's some little bit of spoilers on games. But I've seen people ranting and getting mad for movies and for anime. Do you guys agree?
For games, it depends on the game, I guess, and the person.
It depends on
Right.
how
Yeah,
much you
it
care
does
about
depends.
everything.
Yeah,
Like, for
exactly. Yeah.
example, I know like Dan really likes the Phoenix Wright series, and those games are completely like you can't know any spoilers anywhere because like from the beginning you'll kind of like know like who you're gonna need to talk to and what you need to
Mhm.
investigate.
Mhm.
If someone's already spoiled to you like the entire case, like how they murdered someone, you know,
Yeah.
you're finding the
Yeah,
clues and whatnot.
exactly.
So for a Phoenix Wright game, I can understand why people would get really like angry about it. And then as for animes and movies, of course people would get like super mad if you spoil
Yeah,
anything.
they do.
Like like Dan, I know someone already spoiled this for you, and spoiler warning, I guess, for anyone who's watching One Piece and isn't caught up. You know what? Gear Fourth, right? Or
Yeah.
you've heard about it at least. I avoided for a long time trying to tell you, and then someone mentioned it around you,
I
and
still haven't caught up, but it didn't surprise me.
yeah, I know, but it surprised me when I saw it a little bit. Like I knew Luffy would have something hidden up his sleeve,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I didn't think it was like something like that. Um, but anyway, yeah. If someone had told me that, I'd be slightly ticked off. Or if they told me one of my favorite characters died,
Yeah.
that'd also be um,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Or if someone's like, oh yeah, like Luffy's going to war with the guy who is above Doflamingo or whatever. It's like, oh damn.
Mhm.
Now, when I
Yeah.
was a much younger lad, I was super into Naruto. I'd seen the original series all the way through twice. And I watched Shippuden up to about episode 100. And I was like, they're never going to find Sasuke. I quit. So I actually did drop it. And so, I had a relative that still watched it. At that point, since I didn't care, it's just like, tell me what's going on. And it's like, oh, Officer Dan, your favorite character dies. And I'm like, now I know I definitely know when I go back to it. So it depends on how much you care. But if you care enough, it's possible. Because I want to share this little thing with you guys. So I do not know how old Earthbound is here in the United States, but I was finally able to have the legitimate, um, you know, DLC, virtual console version of Earthbound. I got that the day it came out, and I still haven't finished it. And I know that there's big twists at the end because people love the story to death in that game and for how weird it is. I still don't know how that goes. After all this time that Earthbound's been out, like, if you want to avoid spoilers, it's possible.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Well,
I will
just
still discover.
avoid
Yeah.
every single like internet article. Like we bought Undertale, and we've been meaning to play that.
Oh yeah, but that gets shoved in your face in the internet.
Well, yeah, because I tried to avoid spoilers for it, but because we do our Mario Maker series,
Yeah.
we get people who submit Mario Maker levels that are themed after Undertale, and so like it's not a complete spoiler, but like by the name and by what's going on, you'll sort of like learn
Yeah.
some stuff. And then we have the occasional person in chat that types something, and since we're very attentive to chat, of course we're gonna read it. And like I've had like 4 major spoilers shown to me from Undertale, and so it got me a little bit mad because I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to enjoy the game as much. But at the same time, I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna empty my mind while I'm playing it. Hopefully I'll still be caught off guard with a lot of other stuff. So.
Yeah, sure. And it was really easy
Wow.
for Star Wars. Like, I was able to see Episode 7 without any problems.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's like one. Well, there's a few spoilers in that movie, and thankfully I didn't get any of them spoiled for me. That's not true. I actually did get the one big one. Is it okay if I say it now? Everyone's watched Star Wars episode 7.
Yeah, just say it already.
Yeah, like Han Solo dying, someone actually spoiled that to me. But I thought they were joking, so I didn't take it seriously.
Oh, okay.
And then he died. Which
Yeah, he died.
is another like convoluted theory. It's like,
yeah,
maybe
I was
he's not
halfway
dead.
expecting it anyway, because Harrison Ford wanted to die.
He did.
Yeah, in the original trilogy, yeah. He thought his character...
Yeah, in the original, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, like George Lucas just, Han Solo's supposed to die like at least in the second or in the third one, because they were trying to kill him
They
already.
came back with
So,
something
yeah.
that's like, okay, here's your chance to get out of this nerdy franchise for the rest of your life. You want it, don't you? And
Yeah,
he's
this
like,
is
"Oh,
your
yes."
death,
All
your
of
epic death.
all of his characters are just suicidal. He's just like, I just want to die. Kill me already.
Just die. So yeah, about video games and movies and anime. Some video games based on the actual movie or the anime, they actually spoil you some things. And talking about One Piece, it has everything in there. Such as Naruto, it has everything in there. The actual story is in there. And what actually happened is in there, because right now, the actual anime license games are in the manga. They're not in the actual anime anymore because anime is way behind what the actual story is. So they just let's just go with the manga and let's just ditch the anime. So yeah, it kind of is like a major leaked, but it's like a major spoiler for everything if you want to try to avoid the surprises and being ruined in the freaking game.
Okay.
So,
Zyberpunky, I've been watching your stream of Pirate Warriors 3. Is that the route that they took? Is to follow the manga in Pirate
Oh
Warriors?
no,
3?
that's not canon at all.
I know there's fantasy
some of it's
scenarios.
canon.
Yeah,
Some of it is
might
canon.
be, but I'm pretty sure it's not completely canon. Like, I mean, your
Burning Blood is
Flamingo-
actually from the. Oh yeah.
Burning Blood follows the manga.
Yes, the manga, yeah, and yeah, it yes. So it's a warning because there's a lot in there that it's like
I was just curious.
Major-
I've been watching
because
you
I
play
don't-
Pirate Warriors 3.
yeah, I do have Burning Blood too because I lent it to a friend, so
That
we
game-
switched games.
Is
So
that PS3 or PS4?
It is.
Burning Blood?
4.
Alright.
Yeah. So when that game, well, I remember when Burning Blood actually leaked, and I read some articles, and I'm like, oh, it's going in the manga just like the Naruto series, like the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, and I'm like, damn, I need to catch up in the manga before I get spoiled. I never caught up in the manga. I just like the anime. I'm really lazy into reading. Like a lot of people out there, they're just lazy to read. Let's just go with the anime and just enjoy the fights, enjoy the animation, and yeah, there's some parts of the game that actually spoiled a little bit, but I didn't quite, care because I knew that was gonna happen. Because I have friends, that they won't shut up.
Oh yeah.
So they just okay,
Otoken,
just say it, man.
Otoken was about to spoil to me like freaking ReZero, and he wouldn't shut up about it.
You just
Like,
cut it off.
oh no, yeah,
Dude,
he spoiled a few games for me on
that
purpose. That bastard.
I
But yeah, yeah. There's a lot of our friends. They don't do it on purpose. Like the times he's done it, he's well.
He's just anxious to share it.
Sometimes if he's done it on purpose, he's a bastard. But sometimes he's done it by accident and he's apologized. But most of the time it's by accident.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So, there's other games that actually leaked last year, just like Attack on Titan video game from PlayStation 4, and they have been asking. There was a lot of doubt if this is going to be according to the anime or the actual manga again. I really do not know. I really do not want to know about it, so I have not looked it yet. But when I have the game, I hope there's no spoil. I hope there's another story because there's also anime license games that are out of the story. They don't want to spoil anything. This is another alternate story, but it's still Attack on Titan or Sword Art Online parts of games. It might have some canon parts, but it's not gonna spoil you. I like those kinds of anime license game that is not the story all over again, just like Dragon Ball Z games. That oh yes, the Frieza saga, the Cell saga, the Boo saga all over again.
Saiyan Saga all over
I mean, everyone does love those
Yes.
sagas though. But that was basically
It,
Xenoverse.
I,
They're just classic
yes.
stories.
Yeah.
Storylines, really.
So any other leak that bothered you guys over the years?
Well, I just keep thinking of Smash because there was a guy. Uh, I can't remember if it was in China or Japan or not, but he was able to get the 3DS version of Smash like a week early, and then he already had a 3DS capture card, so he was straight up streaming the game. On I remember I was hanging out. It was when the demo had come out on the 3DS,
Okay.
and so I was watching a stream of a guy playing the demo, which was like the best demo on the face of the planet. It was so wonderful. It was only 5 characters, but I didn't care.
On Smash.
Yeah, Smash had a demo. Yeah, a good friend gave me a code because platinum members got a code like a whole 2 or 3 weeks early before the general public got a code or something like that. And so being a hardcore fan, it was his time to play it. He bought a code off eBay. Like 2 or 3 of them, and gave me one, so that was wonderful. But anyway, I got off track. All he did was the store sold it to him early, like way too early, and was streaming that right away. So I was hanging. That's what it was. I was hanging out in a stream, and then people were freaking out. It's like, go over here. And sure enough, he was playing the whole game.
Wow.
You know, another game, a really popular game that was leaked that people didn't even notice it was leaked, and then people were like, wait, this is the game. Pokemon Go was actually leaked a while ago when it was still in development.
Mm-hmm.
They were showing off, I think, like augmented reality on phones and whatnot, and so one of the apps was like capturing Pokemon, and it was like, oh, and there'll be landmarks, and you go to the landmark and whatnot, and
Yeah.
Pokemon will be there. And looking back at it, I'm like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, whatever, this is probably a third-party thing. But then I look back at it now, and I'm like, wow, that's exactly how the app is now. And shortly after that was shown, Pokemon Go was confirmed to come out as well. So
Yeah.
Wow.
A very infamous example. There was a guy who managed to make copies of and swipe all of Half-Life 2 while it was in development. And Valve was so desperate to stop it that they even put a bounty out for him, so to speak. To get him
Yeah,
to
I
do
remember
it.
that.
Yeah, they practically begged him not to spread it out any further.
Yeah, didn't they release the game early because of that or something, or
I couldn't tell you that for sure. I
or
just know
maybe
that
they
part of
redid the
story.
whole game?
Maybe they did change some parts. I don't know.
I can't remember. I remember that because of that they were forced to do something, and I think that was one of the other reasons they were very very skeptical about even ever releasing Half-Life 3, and
Yeah, probably after
And,
that
like,
bad experience.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would explain their extreme secretive nature today as well.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, there were some. Yeah. Um. There's like you said on Twitch or on YouTube gaming. People do actually play, like, let's just say for example, like Final Fantasy 15. It's coming out in September. People
Yeah.
desperately want to play it. There's already a demo, and yeah, when it's when it's something that you want to save for the last part of your life, the streamer actually goes through the freaking walkthrough. It has happened to me, and it's kind of like, why am I in this live stream? I suffer a lot, like.
Your
And
weaknesses are RPGs and explorations.
yeah, even though I get lost a lot, I like RPGs and fighting games, but I really do want to say the good things and all that, but when when a guy just finds it like, man, that's cool, shit. And like, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Like, and then IGN just goes everywhere, like IGN or Game Informer, and they just, yeah, this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened. Oh, God. Shit.
I mean,
Uh,
for some
you
people,
know the game is long.
yeah, for some people it's too long, and they'll need help getting some places, and sometimes it's the game's fault, really, that they're not clear enough with what you have to do or where you have to go or anything.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not the only one that suffers for it. I mean, Nintendo did have their own like phone line just for people who got lost in the midst of specific video games or
Yeah.
any video game, really.
Oh, remember, this is a recent one also. Dark Souls 3 got accidentally, like, available for purchase in, like, some foreign market. Digital.
Yeah.
Yep, that is true.
Yes.
Else that happened.
There were quite a few people that I saw them playing it like right after that.
Yes.
And like, yeah, it was a lot of big YouTubers got their hands on it and played it. Others were like, no, we respect the wishes of the developers, then we're not gonna play it.
Some people had it beaten and recorded that day.
Yeah, I saw Game Grumps, they had it up like the day after it happened.
Yeah, they did.
So for a week was left until the game was released, and like they uploaded like a week's worth of the content, and like everyone else who waited was like a week behind. So, yeah.
Yeah, how could I forget about that one?
So yeah, so why do people like these kinds of leak and all this stuff? Because for me,
passionate.
yes, I know, but for people like us, there's a lot of people like us that don't want to, like, they avoid leaks. But the social media, we go on Facebook, we go on Twitter, we go there to have fun. We go there to to message people, to look what they're doing, until IGN or some Game Informer or Kotaku releases something, and like.
Yeah.
I shit, really? Like, I know I like, Twitter, I like Facebook, but sometimes it's just like Kotaku is there, IGN is there, Game Informer is there, and it's like I do not want to unlike or unfollow you, but this time.
Sure. Yeah,
uh,
you bringing up Kotaku, they are still blacklisted by Bethesda. I know that
They are?
some of their writers have complained about that before. Well, because
yeah, they do. Yeah.
they had production stuff from Fallout 4 like a considerable amount of time before they were able to
Mhm.
officially announce it at E3. So they're still blacklisted by them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Mhm.
Kotaku, like,
Yeah.
do they let anyone post on Kotaku?
I know the writing would seem like that.
That's one of like who are the reporters here? Who are the journalists here? Like they're
I
not
don't like
randomly
calling them.
journalists. Like
I don't like calling them
No, see,
journalists.
it's really easy when you
I think they're
just
freelance.
yeah, it's really easy when you just accept that they're just a gaming blog. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you just think of it like that, like a gaming blog, but no. Not to mention Kotaku now is becoming another BuzzFeed in a way.
yeah,
Think
in a
about
way. I mean, my opinion of them has certainly dropped recently, but I still check out the website every single day.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with Hulk Hogan was fascinating with me because I'm curious to see where they end up. You know,
I don't know what
as
you're talking
someone who
about.
checks, that's for another time.
Is that
Just
the
know
one
that they're
about Hulk
bankrupt
Hogan
now.
saying that? What?
Just know that Gawker's bankrupt now. The
Okay.
company that owns all those sister websites,
Yeah.
which includes Kotaku, they're bankrupt. I'm curious to know what. I'm still following that a little bit. Curious to know what's going to happen with Kotaku. But there's a certainly a talk amongst yourselves group, and so there's reputable commenters who have pieces that are often more interesting than the writers themselves put up. There are two people that I really love reading their articles over Kotaku, and coincidentally enough, one of them just had their last day today.
Oh,
Unfortunately, his name is Patrick Klepek. Godspeed to wherever he heads off to next. But he's done a lot of other stuff, so I'll see him somewhere else on the internet, I suppose. Um, the other person's Mike Fahey. He's amazing because he has a segment where he eats junk food that's really really weird and
On
talks about
Kotaku?
it.
Yes.
It's called Snack Talk.
okay.
It's a freak.
Anyway, they are pretty generous about giving details on leaks and rumors over there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think IGN, pulls back a little bit, but sometimes it's just like, let's just go out and because some journalists they just go crazy and they just let's just say just for the views and for the fame and because Kotaku is taking our place
I mean
at
that's
some
why they
point.
do it. Really,
The
like websites
competition
like
is too
IGN.
high.
Well, not only that, like websites like IGN, they get most of their revenue from advertisements on their website. So that means
Yeah, yeah.
getting clicks on their website, that they get money that way. And so obviously, if they see, even if they don't want to report on something, or if it's not their kind of like, kind of reporting, if they see something's generating a lot of clicks, obviously they're gonna try to jump on that bandwagon somehow,
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
and just for the views and in the end the money.
Boy, these gaming websites would be just a wonderful topic all on its own
Oh, yeah.
for a podcast. I could certainly
Yeah.
talk about these guys for a while.
But yeah, not
Indeed.
that I don't, or not that I dislike these websites. Like, I remember like IGN, like I discovered it when I was like 13 or 14 from my sister's boyfriend,
Uh huh.
and the reason I discovered it was I think I needed a walkthrough for Sonic Adventure 2. I'm not entirely sure. I needed a walkthrough for a game, or maybe it was a Mega Man Battle Network game, and he directed me there, and there were a lot of walkthroughs submitted by users and their cheats and whatnot stuff. So I love all these websites, but in this day and age, they're definitely ruled by these news and leaks and whatnot.
He
And
threw up air quotes, by the way,
yeah, I
for
threw
those
up
of
air
you that
quotes.
can't see.
Quote unquote news.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, people just like leaks because we crave knowledge. Like the internet is full of free knowledge and information, and information these days is money and power. So like if you know something
Mm.
about anything new or that's coming before anyone else, who knows what you could do with that. To us, it means nothing much, but like just to whet our appetite about the new product that's coming out or something. But to others, it could mean a lot. It is like information to the competitors, to people looking to like make a game just like it, even for the black market who make like cheap knockoffs of the games and or consoles or whatnot. It's
Yeah.
that helps them a lot. So
Yeah. Indeed. Well, I think people today, for some certain video games, they just it's all leaked and okay, it's all cool and I'm looking forward to wait for the game or to wait for what's gonna happen. Giving me that type of question of what's gonna happen in the story, which leaked are sometimes spoilers, which people don't actually sometimes don't care about it. Unlike movies and animes, uh, video is more open in that matter. So yeah, it all depends on the game. Just like Shinja and Officer Dan said, that it all depends on the game. If you love a game, you avoid that leak. You avoid spoilers and all that stuff. So
That's right.
I'm one of those dudes. For if it's a game that I really like, oh, it's alright. It's like Watch Dogs. Like it's okay.
oh no, I didn't want
All
spoilers
right,
for
like
Watch Dogs. But not now that I know it's not such a great game, I'm okay with that.
yeah, like yours.
Yeah.
So, guys, anything else before we close this podcast?
Yeah, a couple things from me, because I'm remembering these other leaks as we talk about it, because I just couldn't think of them off the top of my head. I remember Halo 3 coming out, or somebody getting a hold of Halo 3, like, way before. There's, like, the entire game from start to finish, well, a week in advance before.
I remember ODST being leaked.
An ODST as well?
ODST was leaked, but well, ODST was more of a rumor. Like people were showing pictures
They
of like
weren't
this
too
is
sure.
just Halo 3. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was just remembering that. I remember being on some weird website, actually, checking that
Weird website.
out.
Pornhub,
Not
if
that-
you know what I
no,
mean.
no, it's not a website. I don't even remember.
Or RedTube, if you know what I mean.
Are you looking to get sponsored right now?
Oh, dude, I don't know. If I could- Woo.
This is a serious podcast.
You
So
know
you
what I-
must mean it.
This is for professionals and adults.
Yeah, rated R.
So, the other thing I was going to say, there's got to be some kind of method to keep these things from getting out. And I'm thinking of Sony on two different fronts. Nobody knew anything about Resident Evil 7, and that was able to be a pleasant surprise to see Resident Evil 7 finally go back to its horror roots and to have a demo out that day right after that and not have that leaked at all. I think that's wonderful. And the year before it, Shenmue was a big
Shenmue was the
deal.
biggest.
That was
Mm.
able to be announced at that particular time, and that was like our first beautiful glimpse at that sequel we've wanted forever and ever. Right, Zyberpunky?
Yes. Yes, yes.
So there's got to be some way, but I guess there's just a few people. They're just like,
Well, there's definitely ways to keep it, you know, shut tight and under wraps, because it's happened with many games, but I guess you just gotta trust who you know you're sharing that information with and
Yeah.
whatnot, because oh man, like I mean, even Nintendo with ZNX, they had been keeping it under such tight wraps, and once they had their partners meeting and whatnot, they're like, okay, it's gonna be out there, so might as well just put it out there before anyone else does.
That's true. That was a wise decision, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it happens with a lot of games, but there is such a sweet and awesome moment when you see something being presented to you by the developers, and you don't know what it is. Just they're just teasing you, just just with the tiniest bit of stuff like shown on a stage, and then finally at the end you see a name, and it's a sequel to a game you've been waiting, or it's an update on a game that you heard about, like
Yeah.
a game idea that you heard about them from a while ago. It's just such an amazing feeling and moment from that time, rather than just reading it from some random person on the internet who you don't even know if it's like all the right facts. They might be even like
That's right.
talking about the game incorrectly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Totally agree. So anything else, guys? Anything else?
No,
Don't do drugs.
stay in school.
And the drugs. Stay in school like always, alright people? Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. This has been Zyberpunky.
This is Shinja from Karibukai Play.
Hey, everybody. My name is Officer Dan, and I have some very special news for you. We run a gameplay channel called Karibukai Play, which is that website that you
Yep.
just mentioned.
YouTube.com/c/Karibukai Play.
Because we got the custom URL now. So we stream every Friday at 10 p.m. Central, and sometimes random times other than that. And we upload a couple times a week. So come by and say hi.
Yeah, check us out. We're always putting new stuff on the channel. Also, my friend Dan here has an awesome channel named Soda Wave Show.
Oh, yeah, I do have one of those.
You can check him out there. He is working on content all the time, and slowly but surely there will be stuff there. But make sure to check out his first episode where he talks about grappling hooks.
Yes, please do.
Anyway, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe this video, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys later.